Hey, this is Stacia, and we're going to take a look at my round 4 game from the Ohio Congress in 2021. At this point in the tournament, I had played 3 rounds and lost all 3. Hate it when that happens, but I was playing up a section, at least, so that was some consolation. But I hadn't felt I was playing particularly well. So I came in on Sunday morning determined to leave that day with some kind of point, a draw, a win, 2 wins. It would be great. So I definitely was filled with fire, and I was ready to fight for some points. And I played against Peter Mikena, who I faced one time before. And I think we had a King's Gambit. I had the white pieces. I don't remember if I won that game, but I know I had a really good position. So, yeah, and that was the last tournament before the pandemic that I played over the board. Anyway, I met him this game, and he had white, and he opened with the move, knight to f3. So I was just like, wow, what's with these lame people? Like knight f3 and knight c6, like just play some combative openings. But anyway, knight f3 is a fine move, of course. It's an excellent move even. And d5 is what I chose, taking the center, and he did counter it immediately with the move c4. Now here on move 2, I already don't like my decision. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'll just bring my knight out. How bad could this be? But I don't like this. I mean, can't he just go here and take and play e4? Like, and if I try to get in that d3 square, he just goes d4, right? I'm not getting in there. That is not happening. So, I think knight f6 is a bad move, and I see that the computer agrees. So if I'm going to play this way, I should either take the pawn, or perhaps I could play d4. I think in hindsight, I will play d4 next time. My coach, National Master Michael Jolson, he said this is a reverse Benoni. So you're down a tempo, but he said the positions are complicated and often wild. So that sounds like something I would enjoy. So I'm going to play this next time. Okay, but anyway, besides I do play the Benoni as white. I sometimes get that from the Mora Gambit, believe it or not. People can decline and we end up in a Franco Benoni. But anyway, knight f6, he did take, I did take. Now he should play e4, I think. E4 or d4, take the center. I mean, I like e4 because it comes with tempo, but he did not. He played this move. I played c6. My coach also criticized me for this move, and I see the engine doesn't like it either. I mean, I was thinking, you know, if you want to take, that's cool. But yeah, that's not, I don't know. I don't like that move in hindsight at all. He could still go e4 if he wants. And I would have to, you know, and then if I go here, he goes here. He's going to build a really nice center. Computer says I have to go e6 or c5 immediately. Okay, anyway. Not too proud of my play so far. Yeah, when I don't know the opening, I tend to play extra passive and extra bad. Something I definitely need to work on. I need to start taking space and not be afraid. Just, you know, rely on what I know. So I did take this knight, which I think is a mistake because of b takes followed by d4. And that's not a position I'm going to enjoy. But he actually took with this pawn, which I can't imagine is correct. I see the computer's okay with it, but why would you do that? So I traded. Bishop here pinning. Yeah. Yeah, at this part of the game, it's like you have to develop a plan. And it wasn't all that easy to figure out. But I did figure that I want to play e6 and I want my bishop outside the chain. So this is kind of the only way to go. And I think, though, if I play this way, I should be ready to take that knight, which I didn't do during the game. So he went king c2. So I developed my knight. Bishop here. Now this is interesting. He's saying you cannot castle because I will take your pawn on a7. That's what he's saying. Now, you can often trap the bishop with the move b6. So what do you guys think? Can I castle or not? No, I don't think I can castle. We'll see. I'm learning now, right now. I think he should take this. Because how do I trap that bishop? If I go b6, there's this move. If I go here, I'm threatening rook a8. Wow, black is winning. Oh, wow. I guess I don't know chess at all. Okay. Wow, this is fascinating. Okay, I saw this far, but I didn't see that black's winning now. Like, what? Black's seriously winning? But I guess, I do have knight c5 coming, right? Like, I have knight c5 coming. The king is now protecting this, and I'm threatening rook a8. Wow. The computer says bishop e2 is the move. And if I go here, I mean, what about rook a8? Yeah, it says I'm winning. I'm winning the bishop. That's crazy. So I was wrong about this. So was my opponent, I think. I do expect that he was planning on taking that. Also, let's learn something, because I noticed that, I mean, the computer doesn't want to take this, of course. It wants to take here first. Okay. I would expect him to take back. And only then play b6. Okay, I was afraid of check. I thought this is why I couldn't do this. Yeah, king c7, black is winning. Well, I learned something. Okay. I thought I was being all clever, like, oh, I see what he's doing. I'm not going to fall for this trap and castle. Yeah, I should have set a counter trap. So maybe he wasn't going to take, for all I know. But I played this move, e6. He went knight to d2. I think knight to d2 is a good move. I want to see what the computer wants here, because I think I should take on f3. Yeah, and it does think it's a good move to take on f3. I mean, we're always so reluctant to give up the two bishops and open up the position a little. He does get double pawns, though, and I can play e6, and I can put all my pawns on light squares. And my bishop will be very happy with me. And he will roam the countryside. Okay. So I think bishop takes f3 is good. So after he moved the knight, though, it's like, you know, and I saw all this coming. Like, he can play f3, right? Like, that's the idea. You're going to play f3 and make my bishop silly. If I have to go here, I mean, what is he doing? He's horrible. He's horrible there. So I played e5. My idea was to meet f3 with the move bishop e6. I do kind of wonder what would happen if he played if he played bishop c4 right now, though. I guess I don't worry about it, and I played this. That's what the computer says. All right, and if I play that and he goes f3, oh, the bishop's hanging. So let's say he takes it. Well, actually, instead of taking, let's say he protects it. I don't know if that's a good move, though. Yeah, the rook doesn't belong there, so I don't know. He probably should take it. Okay, so like this. Now f3. Yeah, now the knight is ready to recapture. It actually says white's like a lot better here, though. Why on earth is white better? Must be that. Oh, it's this too. So I have problems. How do I defend that? You know, if he lands this fork, it's not just misplacing my king. That I don't care about. It's this. He's going to win a pawn. Wow. All right. Well, something like this happens in the game. Actually, knight c4. Exactly. So you guys will see this. All right. So f3, bishop e6. He went here, countering. I went bishop to c5, and I was like, I'm so smart. I calculated this out, and I can develop my bishop proudly. Guess what? This loses a pawn. If you want to pause your video and calculate it for yourself, go ahead and do so now. Yeah, so I'm embarrassed. I really am, guys, and disappointed. I should be able to calculate better than this. So I'm going to turn off the engine for a second. There's a couple moves to look at here. You know, if you're going to play this move, you have to look at bishop takes bishop and bishop takes bishop. Let's see, anything else? Maybe this move too, just guarding that bishop. Yeah, because what else is there? Nothing really. So I think, you know, it's really the bishop captures you have to work out for sure. So if he takes here, you know, I would take here. That's clear. Now he has bishop takes f7 check and bishop takes d7 check. Taking a piece is better, obviously, right? So, and he's dragging my king up onto the open d file. So, okay. So we're saying that he takes, I take, he takes check, king takes. And in this position, my bishop's still here, right? And I thought, you know, if he attacks me, no problem, I could take the knight. And if he moves the knight, I have time to, you know, do stuff. Now, the thing I didn't see, well, let's look at the other line first. So the other thing that could happen is he could take here first instead of this one. And if he did that, you know, I'm going to take with a knight. I think that's pretty clear. And then I thought here and here. And I thought, okay, here I'm pretty good. But I think this line has the same problem. That knight c4 move is going to come in. It is going to threaten a check, winning this pawn. And it's going to threaten this pawn directly. My knight is no longer here to defend it. And in both lines, that knight c4 thing occurs. So my opponent didn't have to work hard to find that. Takes, I took, takes, takes. Knight c4, how do you like that? Attacking the bishop, attacking the pawn. There's no check in this line, but there is a rook check. And yeah, this is just very unfortunate. So I went here. I actually think it's a big mistake to go bishop b6. Let's see if I was right. I thought if bishop b6, you know, he can check me. And then go, if I go here to defend the pawn, he comes in, right? Like, he could do that. Now, this can't be good because the other rook is going to come next. Let's see what the computer says. Yeah, white is better. Not as better as I thought, but better. Yeah, king e7, rook 81. I don't know. I don't like this position. I guess, you know, the point is that I will be able to counter, but yeah, I mean, he's still going to win this pawn, right? And then I'll have less pieces. So like takes. I mean, this or this is going to be met by this. And now that there's very little pieces, I really like white, right? Like this. Huh. I guess that's a little bit of a skewer though. It would be hard to see that in advance. But I guess I need to start seeing stuff like that in advance. So yeah, bishop c5. So my point was that I can't go to b6 because, you know, check and the rook comes in. So instead, this king e6 was my idea. Back, and now bishop e6. Okay. Now I'm down a pawn, and, well, you know, it's not the end of the world, but it's not good. a5, taking advantage of the fact that my bishop's a little bit vulnerable here. So I played a6. Now hang in with me, you guys. Hang in with me, because guess what? I didn't lose this game. I am going to spoil it in that way to keep you interested. Because it seems like I'm just losing all my games, but guess what? I don't lose this one. So a5, bishop a7. Okay, check. I mean, this part of the game was very difficult. I mean, you know, I was looking at all kinds of lines with the knight coming in, taking pawns, hopping around, and I was defending against it. Takes. Okay. So I thought if here I could go g6. And I thought if here I thought I could go king e6, and if takes, I actually was planning rook h8. So I guess the computer doesn't like this because knight g5 check. Oh. Okay, I may have seen that though. Maybe I was planning king e7 instead. I probably was. So I just remember a line where I get to do this and they come back. And then I take here. Now I'm in business. You know, now I'm in business. Yeah, and black's winning here. Wow. Okay. Anyway, my computer's dying. Okay, it's plugged in. All right, so check there. Takes. Check. I calculated this. Decided on king e7. I actually love this about chess when there's stuff like this. Like I can bring my king towards the king side or the queen side. And one might be right and one might be wrong. Or maybe both are fine. I think those types of questions are so interesting. But guess what? They're both fine. I went here. Okay, he played g3, which I think it's not the best of moves. I have a dark square bishop. He just put his pawns on dark squares. Now I have ideas of, you know, I can't do it right now, but I do have ideas of bishop g1, and if the pawn moves, I go here, and if this pawn moves, I win a knight. So I would win a pawn if I can play bishop g1, so I had that idea. b5 is what I chose. Let's see what the computer says. It says g5. Wow, I don't think I would play that move. It just creates so many holes, and there's a knight. I would expect this. It says rook d8. I mean, white is winning here, so I don't like that move, g5. Sometimes the computer will be like, you know, you're losing anyway, and it will just take you into a completely lost position because all the best moves still take you into a lost position. There are no better moves than that. But as humans, we need to understand that the right thing to do is keep stuff on the board and create complications. That's what we should do. So g5 is incorrect. I like my move. This creates complications. b5. Like now he has to think, like, am I going to take? And my idea was c5. I'm like, I'm going to play c5 at the right moment. I just have to watch out for this knight check when I do it. So takes. Really wanted to play c5. If I play c5, yeah, if I play c5 right now, it's a big blunder, obviously, because check would win this. Cannot do that. So I went here. Yeah, I did this. See, I like this move too. I mean, computer's giving a5. I mean, why would I play that? Why would I play that? He's going to take, and now he has a pass pawn. Why would I do that? I mean, I guess I can take it right now, but that seems like not a good idea. If I do this, it's pinned. Now I have to worry about the knight coming in and attacking, or even the king for that matter, but probably the knight. Where would the knight go? Like this? And the other thing I could do, you know, is go rook a7, bishop here, but then we're trading everything again. So, and then white's up a pawn. Bad idea. So I don't like that move a5. I like my move better. Rook a7. So now this pawn isn't pinned anymore because of that. This is a very clever move by my opponent. Once again, the computer doesn't like it, but he was trying to trick me, I think. I do think he was trying to trick me. I think he saw I wanted to play c5. I mean, this is a weak pawn. I want to push it. Now, if I can trade pawns, not pieces, I'm more likely to draw. Ben Feingold says that a lot. But if I trade pieces and leave the pawns, then I'm very likely to lose. So I don't know if he saw this idea, but I went c5 because I was like, oh, good, there's no knight check. So what did he do? He put the knight right back. And now this is coming, and it's kind of hard to parry. So I had to bring my king to the rescue. Check here. And now his king starts getting in the action. Bishop d8. So this is what I was talking about. Preserve my bishop, also dominating the knight. This knight is very strong though, so I didn't like him. Take. Trading pawns is good, like I said. Now he's on this pawn again. I have to defend it. I like this move though. I mean, where else would I go? What does the computer want? Why would I do this? Why? I don't like the computer sometimes. Okay, but anyway, I like this one because it's harder for him to check me, and I might play a5. So he went here anyway. This way it was not with tempo. Okay, so I came back. Yeah, and you know, I'm basically saying like, oh, do you want to draw? You know, because I can do this all day. And he said, no, thank you. Rook to b1. So I was like, wow, his rook, you know, was stopping my passed pawn. Why would he do such a thing? Well, I think he wants to play this. And then he's going to get all sorts of counterplay down here. You know, like there's going to be check, and there's going to be eat all my pawns, like Pac-Man. So I don't like Pac-Man, so I stopped it. Rook a8. All right, and I did see there's this check here. Never mind, that's not a check. But I did see he could come in here and attack the rook. That doesn't work though, right? No, I take it. Never mind, you guys. Sorry about that. All right, king d4. I mean, okay, I have a passed pawn. I should push it, right? So a5. He pushed his pawn, a4. I was getting very curious here, but it should be noted that we were almost to move 40, and he was in pretty severe time pressure, and I still had some time. Believe it or not, I actually managed my time fairly well this tournament. And he was scrambling a little bit here. I mean, he let my pawn get to a3, but he had an idea. He thought he would check me here. Now I can't go a2. I played king d7. And on move 40, exactly move 40, he played the move c5. He got up from the table, okay, and he left. And I was watching his clock tick down, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to lose on time. But then I looked at my score sheet, and I was like, oh, it's move 40. And of course, it doesn't add the time until black plays their 40th move as well. But I had a couple minutes. I think I had more than that, like 5 minutes at least. Maybe 10 minutes. And I was like, well, doesn't rook a4 like just draw? Like, I would say win, but I don't think it wins, but it at least draws. Rook a4, pinning the knight. So he told me after the game that against this move, he was planning, you know, king c3. But if king c3, bishop a5, attack the pinned piece. And that's all well and good, but I'm going to play a2. You know, this knight is doing a job, so, and this rook is protecting the knight. It can't stop the pawn and protect the knight. So white is losing material here, and actually that's what happened in the game. So yeah, instead of king here allowing bishop a5, he saw that move and he played king d5, which I think is interesting. So, okay, a2. How are you going to defend your knight? The rook is overworked and underpaid like me. c6, check, which I did see. I played king c8. Yep, and rook a1. I actually was curious how he was going to lose material because there are some options, you know. Like he could take the pawn. This is one option. But I think maybe this option isn't best because my rook is very active. I could check, I could take pawns. You know, he probably has to go here, then I go here. I don't know. I feel like black is maybe winning. And the other way to do it is the way he did, rook a1, and I just take the knight, right? And I don't see a better move. I think I gotta take that knight. Yeah, computer agrees. So I took the knight, he took here. Okay, so this position, I was analyzing this from afar, and I was nervous about it still because, well, my rook is awkward. I do like that he's controlling these squares. I like that, but you know, white's got some pretty scary pawns. I mean, he wants to go here, here, oops, and maybe this, and maybe check. And I don't know. I was pretty nervous in this position, and I definitely was looking at, you know, checking like this, but I couldn't figure out what to do after king d6. Like if I check king d6, you know, I guess I check here. Then I thought he might do this. Oh wait, sorry. I mean, I guess I could take this, but he goes here. I thought, wow, I see this is drawing. All of this is drawing. But I thought white might be winning. I mean, he's going to eat all my pawns, all of them, and have 3 connected passers. That makes me nervous, so I didn't go for that. So I played sort of a weird looking move here. Bishop c7. I will tell you a funny move that my coach suggested. He's like, how about bishop b6? I was like, bishop b6? Why? He's like, okay, well, you know, if the check, you go here, no problem, bishop's covering. And if he wants to go eat your pawns, checkmate. I was like, wow. I did not see that checkmate. That is pretty cool. So anyway, but that's not a good move either because, let's see, after bishop b6, like my move is actually better, I see, which is cool. After this same move is a problem, you know, the nom variation. That king's very hungry. Okay, so I went here, which I thought was clever because I was ready to meet rook a8 check with bishop b8. And this is like, I've been playing a lot of, I've been converting some endings against the computer. And one thing I've learned from doing that is that the computer is not afraid to block with pieces. And it's often the best move in endings. Not a good idea in the middle game or the opening to block with pieces because then it's pinned and it gets attacked. But here, as long as the pin can't get attacked again, who cares? So I liked my move. Okay, he went there. The point is that I'm taking away the square, right? So now the king is blocked out. And if check, which he did do, I think, right? I thought he did. Oh, I checked first. Oh, and then I went there. Then he checked me. That's a blunder? Wow. I guess rook d2 is drawing. Oh, coming in like this. Yeah. Wow. I would check though. King here. Yeah, and I just have to check to stop this idea. I have to check forever. That's why it's a draw. Huh, okay. But instead of rook d2, he played this check. Now black's winning, which I did not know during the game. So I blocked. That was my idea. Okay, I mean, I was scared here. I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but I thought I could hold this. But I was very scared to play for a win. I just, like, how do I play for a win here? I might get checkmated. I might lose all my pawns. He might make a queen. And every time I calculated, it just seemed unclear. So I checked him here. And, well, I offered a draw. And after this long fight of a game, perhaps a draw is fair. The computer says I could win this. Let's try to understand how really quickly. If king here, it does want to check again. Okay, I'll check. If he goes back, rook e1. That's what's funny is that even when a piece is pinned, it doesn't really apply for a king. It's still protected, which I did see when I was calculating it. But, I mean, wow, it's a good thing this comes with check, though, because if it didn't, like, let's just say the king was here, okay, just for fun. I think if I went here to take the pawn, I think it doesn't work now. Let's see if I'm right. Like, let's say he does this, and I take the pawn. I think now he has c7. Oh, worse than that, he has rook takes b8. But I thought c7 also should work because this is pinned. I would have to take this way. He takes here, right? The other thing I could do is, oh, I have time to move my rook here, though. I can move my rook. Rook b5. Still, I mean, why? I don't want to allow this either. I guess this is a draw, but wow. It's close, you know. My king's farther away. But I guess if he tries to get in, I'm just in time. Yeah, he can't get in. Scary. Okay. But yeah, even worse than that is this move. So the point is, though, that if he goes here and I go rook e1, this time it does work, right? Like if he goes this move just to make a random move, now it's with check. So I don't have, there is no rook takes ba check. Wow, he has to go back like this. So now my rook is not protected, so I probably would play, well, I would take more pawns, which means he should probably go here. But anyway, I guess I could play this for a win, but I didn't. Hey, gotta stop the bleeding first, right? Like 3 losses, and this one I was losing, but I managed to swindle a draw. And it was all because of that passed pawn. So if we just look at the highlights of this game, I played the opening terrible, but this position's fine. But I really wish I would have taken that knight. I think that was the right way to go. I didn't do that though. Instead I played this move, and you know, this square becomes an issue. Yeah, and a calculation error. Not seeing knight c4 at the end. Knight c4. So I lose a pawn right out of the opening. But I like the way I played this part. I kept pieces on the board. I calculated fairly well. Played for the c5 break. And even when it didn't go the way I hoped, it stayed complicated enough. Yeah, and probably, you know, that's the nice thing, is that if someone's winning, they might not always know how to win. And I think he made a bad plan here with rook b1. I think allowing my pawn, I mean, he calculated this all, and he's like, oh, I have knight b4 check, and I'll stop the pawn. But sometimes there's holes in plans, and that's what happened here. So that knight b4 check thing, yeah, this is really the move right here. So in time pressure, c5. So wow, that shows you how important time pressure is, because if I had been the one in time pressure and he wasn't, I would have lost this game. But given that he was in time pressure and I wasn't, I got a draw and a winning position at the end. So wow. I loved bishop c7. I thought that was cute. Okay, but yeah, and here I was just going to check him forever. I didn't have much time on my clock, but enough to fight a little bit. But like, this is the type of position that if you make one little mess up, you're going to lose, right? So I'm not that unhappy with the draw. I hope you enjoyed the game. I'll be back with the final game, which was a crazy one, by the way. So I'll be back with that one, if not tomorrow, in a couple days. So I will see you then. Okay, bye.